Live from Cool Boys Central.
You're the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
From bat tips to bat nips, we are just three cool boys revisiting Batman, the animated series, and wearing hats. This is Batman and Beyond, a Cool Boys podcast.
I see Batman and Beyond.
Greetings, Cool Boy Nation, and welcome to another installment of Batman and Beyond, a Cool Boys podcast. I'm Felk.
I'm Ballard.
I'm Steven.
Tonight's episode is Pretty Poison. Originally airing September 14th, 1992, this episode was directed by Boyd Kirkland and written by, well, its story is by Paul Dini and Michael Reeves, and the teleplay was by Tom Ruger. Features the first introduction of Poison Ivy. Wikipedia says, when District Attorney Harvey Dent collapses after a meal with his fiancée, Pamela Isley, and friend Bruce Wayne, doctors discover that he has been poisoned. Batman must find the culprit and the antidote before the DA's time runs out. A lot of antidotes in this show.
Also, another first appearance, I believe, was police officer Montoya.
Renee Montoya.
It is absolutely. And Renee Montoya is a fucking great character. Now, she was developed for Batman the Animated Series, but she actually debuted in the comics before her character could be shown on Batman the Animated Series.
I don't really care about Renee Montoya.
Oh, I like her.
They develop her more, I think, like throughout the series, make her like an independent cop.
Latina cop is all she is. Like there's no more nothing more consistent to her. Sometimes she's a fucking criminal, or I guess not, because in the Dark Knight they changed the name like last minute before filming. But it's like Renee Montoya is the one who sells out Harvey Dent. She can be a bitch in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, for this episode, Pretty Poison, she's a great character. She's a great police officer. And I got to tell you guys, nothing says quality like a sepia tone flashback.
I was just going to comment that when I first started to watch this, I think watching it on an HD poor transfer, streaming or something, I was like, what is going on? This does not look good, this flashback. I thought there was something wrong with my TV at first when I first started watching it.
It's sepia or sepia.
It's it just does not work.
Typically used for very old timey flashbacks, like a flashback to the 1930s.
Yeah, but not like 5 years ago.
Yeah, this flashback's only 5 years ago, so it doesn't really make sense that everything's old timey because everything in modern day also looks old timey.
Yeah.
One of the things I thought the show just does well as an example is just how cinematic their storytelling is by doing this whole like 5-year time jump. And doing a flashback that's just like hinting at as to why there's a strife, but why that someone might not like Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne. I thought it was really well done for a kid's show that they were making it so cinematic.
Yeah, even Batman's introduction in this episode is cinematic because like the way they cut back and forth between Harvey having his date and be like, oh, Bruce is always this or that. And then it cuts to Batman doing something. And the cinematography actually during that section, there's some like really incredible shots where like Batman's running along the roof and you can see the street down below as he's chasing the perp. And it's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah, I have some notes on that. It was great match cutting, having Harvey talking about Bruce. He has like I think 4 different things that he says. He goes he got hung up on business, and then they have Batman being hanging off of a tower or something, and then he runs around with a high class crowd, and he's then fighting people, and then but he still manages to get his kicks, and then they show him kicking the criminals.
What's the last one?
The last one is just showing Batman and having him go, "I'm your worst nightmare," and then I don't know, it's good stuff.
It is good stuff. I like that. On top of all that, once again they show us Harvey Dent, and it's just establishing that now that they didn't establish the first time we saw Harvey Dent, which was on Leather Wings when he essentially said, "Go ahead and follow and hunt the Batman." It's established that he's actually Bruce's friend, and that's really cool because we're setting up stakes, we're setting up risks, we're setting up like this what this potential storyline down the road.
Oh yeah,
of
great long
Two-Face.
form storytelling.
And
It's
I love
rare.
that when it comes to like who is in an Arkham Asylum, or like how Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face, and then Bruce and Harvey's relationship from that point on. I mean, there's several
Definitely.
episodes after Two-Face is established, right, where we have Harvey come back, quote unquote.
It definitely manipulates Bruce, and I think that's probably one of the better things that comes out of the animated series is that they have that long form storytelling between Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne, and one of the things in the first act that I thought was interesting was just how heavy they were doing the rose imagery, the thorn and beauty, and how Harvey, is obviously poisoned by the kiss, but like no one figures it out.
Batman actually figures it out quick enough. Just as I was like, this is dumb. Why hasn't he figured? Oh, he figures it out. He figures it out.
I felt it was not quick enough for Batman, unless he was playing dumb because he was Bruce, playing Bruce Wayne, but he's like, Harvey?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? What's going on, Harvey?
He can't tip his hand too much, He is Bruce. He's got to hold back a bit. But
he was playing it close
I
to
like
the vest.
that. What, the rose that actually is the rose in question is the wild thorny rose, and it is a completely fictitious rose.
Yeah, made up rose.
Yeah. I like that Pamela Isley is set up in this episode. If you didn't go into this episode knowing who Poison Ivy was or what her actual name is, Pamela Isley, then you would be following along on this detective like work with Bruce, like in Batman. Like you would actually, it would be a reveal for you, like a spoiler.
It's
like
very
a
heavy.
twist.
They put it on pretty heavy. I think that they have her.
Well, she's very femme fatale.
Perfume is like called Nightshade, which is a poison.
And she's a very classic film noir femme fatale character, and a femme fatale character from film noir commonly is a character that ends up bad, right? Like they're not normally the good one. But they do hide it. They show only the hands of the person doing the poisoning.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's supposed to be a long review
for sure, and I like that.
It's
and
like 14 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah,
well,
but
it's
exactly.
An episode, yeah.
But within the 20-minute structure of this narrative, it's fantastic the way they handle that.
It's great. That's what that I was surprised having a whole flash back and then having it go into the present, and just a lot of stuff going on in this 22-minute episode.
Yeah. And then on top of that, the narrative, Steve, of this ticking clock. Harvey's poisoned by Pamela Isley, and at the time they don't know who, so we just have to figure out how to save his life before he dies.
Bullock and the donuts.
Oh yeah, Bullock's always about the donuts.
It's so funny that when they rush to the hospital, that when the police rush to the hospital, it's like they're rushing like it's the prison break. It's the same.
It's the same.
Like, reaction, which doesn't
they're a
make any
joke
sense.
at this point. Yeah, they're a joke squad of police officers. Yes, in the show right, at this point. Yeah.
In the real world, like common street thug criminals who are thieves don't have like helicopters. Like crime has the upper hand in this Gotham. It really needs a Batman because the police don't even have the ability to like take down basic things like the Joker and his steamboat or these opening criminals who have like their own fucking helicopter. No police helicopter after them, just Batman.
I know. There's blimps out there. Gotham PD, get your blimps on it.
Yeah.
I like how, Bruce Wayne goes in to investigate, talks to the lab doctor and pockets the blood sample. He's totally, he's just like, stopping a criminal investigation or whatever,
Oh, yeah. He's always tampering with evidence.
It's so
For sure.
obvious.
Yeah, I know. He puts it in his like little handkerchief or whatever, right? Tucks his little coat and he runs out of there. Yeah.
I do like seeing Batman do Batman things as Bruce Wayne.
But he uses a napkin to cover up blood. I would think that is just not a good method to preserve.
No,
not
it's
at
a
all.
slide, so it's already got a top part of the slide on top of it. It's protected.
Good point.
CSI.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bat Computer to the rescue.
Oh, right,
It's the writer's go-to, solving machine.
Deus
What do we
Ex
do? They can't figure it out?
Computer.
He's not the world's greatest detective. He just has a really good computer. The computer is really the world's greatest detective.
Exactly.
Well, someone's got to work the computer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but did Batman build this computer or did he just buy it?
Yes,
We don't know.
he built this computer. He put all the code in it, and what he does is he types in all the analytic stuff, and then the computer just does the analyzing faster for him. That's about it.
He just typed visual and it's giving him a visual.
he just has lots of money, so he's just able to pay somebody a lot of money to make this awesome computer.
Yeah, world's richest detective.
And so, well, this magic computer tells us, of course, it's the wild thorny rose, and it's extinct. So, good luck, Harvey.
And then Batman, figures out that Pamela is poison ivy, basically.
Practically figures it out right there in the hospital when she comes to visit. Yeah, he like walks her to the car, and he's just like, "You reek of guilt." Let me ask you a couple of questions and a couple follow-ups, and then boom. But then it is really quickly revealed, like right after that she really is poison ivy. She goes home, right?
It's it's classic that he goes there and he follows. Batman spies on her, and poison ivy is like being completely psycho, talking to her plants. And you
figured it out.
She's cutting her petals off the rose or whatever, and she's like, "I won't ever do this again unless I need them." Yeah. And then she gets undressed and gets naked, and then becomes all fucking like poison ivy decked out in that sexy outfit. She's really hot.
They definitely, for a kids cartoon, they were making it pretty sexy.
I'm telling you, man, Bruce Timm, naughty or nice, or naughty and nice. The pinups he did, where he did like nudes.
You have some, right?
What?
You have some, don't you?
I have some as like wall art. Just that he did like the classic like femme fatale nudes, even of many of the characters like Ivy and Catwoman, and even Marvel girls. Like he just did like sexy ass drawings in the style, but with nudity, and like it's very the fact that like that was the kind of guy who would be animating this is very apparent in the way they draw Ivy here, because even as a kid, like this was like, oh wow, that's nice. I like this image,
and I like how in the in her driver's license, it says she's 28 years old, nice, and she's 5'2", perfect. And it says she's a 36C on her driver's license, too.
Oh, yeah, is that what it said?
Does it say the state? I'm not seeing. I don't remember the specifics of the license. Does it say what state Gotham's in?
Gotham.
Okay.
I think Gotham's in Gotham.
No, because
New York's in New York.
Well, no. A couple times they'll show it. It says Gotham, NJ on driver's licenses in this show.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll go back real quick and look. Let me see. It says, it just is Gotham City. It says she lives at 69 Green Street, Gotham City.
69.
Her age is 28. Her height is 5'2". Her weight is 105. Really nice. Hair auburn, eyes green. Pamela Izzy. That's her university faculty ID.
Yeah, she's getting naked, and it's they cover it up with that little like whatever those things are called, changing curtain dividers.
Yes.
Bourgeois thing.
Yeah. Right after she tells a plant that she'll never like hurt it again unless I need them. I need those sweet little delicious petals of yours to poison more people. I like how it's established. Not only does she like have like, a normal fucking like greenhouse,
death traps,
but she has an Audrey 2 motherfucking plant in there.
They immediately go from very grounded, which is like poisoning a villain, very grounded, poisoning people with plants, which is what Walter White did. Spoilers. So like something that could exist in the real world.
That's a real spoiler. That's a real spoiler. You shouldn't have said that one.
To like huge super plants that have like Jumanji level like
classic, and they always have the classic cliffhanger. He's about to get eaten by a
Audrey 2
Venus.
Yeah, Audrey 2. That's totally Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors.
It's funny that you thought of Audrey. I thought of Jumanji.
And she reveals herself like after the commercial break. She finally's done getting undressed and getting redressed up in her sweet poison ivy outfit.
And they draw her ass
all decked in green. With them hips swaying, 5'2", 105.
Yeah, no.
It comes back and he doesn't get out of it immediately. That's
look at that ass. Oh,
gorgeous ass. Batman is actually fucked in this scenario, and he has to like essentially beat the hell out of this giant Venus flytrap. Right?
It just starts breaking its teeth.
Yeah, it's pretty violent. The screams it makes when it's dying are severe. Like those are some harsh dying animal screams.
Oh yeah, it sounds like a dying elk calf being eaten by like a grizzly bear. It's fucking horrible.
Eaten alive.
Like Batman gets his like bat knife out and he just starts stabbing the fuck out of it too. Like he just starts cutting the shit out of it, cutting its vines, essentially what are like its penises, I would imagine, and then just stabbing it in its face over and over again. Yeah. It's hardcore.
I like the origin story that they give for her. It's just basically that destroyed flowers.
In her exposition, her villain exposition.
Yeah,
that ass.
Like the simplest. Destroying flowers was basically to create a prison caused her to go psycho. That's just
Yeah.
basically what it was.
I know.
There's nothing, more to it than that. You destroyed my wild rose plant, so now I'm
gonna kill you.
Murderous vixen.
Yeah, but I think what they definitely don't establish her love for all plants like so much.
Well, she gets like magic powers. I feel like later on, doesn't she? Like get
Yeah.
abilities
Yeah.
to control.
Her character changes, definitely grows a lot. And each episode she's in, it's new. She's like a more developed like character.
There's nothing supernatural about it at this point, but eventually, like by the end, when it's like the new adventures of Batman and Robin or whatever, she has like a green tint, and it's like all like the poisons in her veins and stuff. So like she becomes supernatural eventually. But right now, no supernatural abilities, just her little wrist crossbow thingy that they lean way hard on. I feel like in this first appearance, he's really into like just use a gun. Like just at that point, just use a gun.
Yeah, I guess, but it's kind of like sexy to have a crossbow on the wrist.
They dropped that. She doesn't have that after I think this episode.
I like how basically Batman causes an electrical fire to escape.
Electrical fires are very prominent in this show.
Very prominent. There's a lot of go-tos that these writers have once you start watching these like in order, I guess. And one of them is that electrical fires in large vats, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so he starts his electrical fire after freeing himself from stabbing the fuck out of this thing. He ends up swinging. He like uses his grappling hook to like swing himself like into a super cool position, but he like the whole light equipment that he like attaches to breaks and falls and starts this huge fire throughout the fucking greenhouse. And Batman inadvertently kills and destroys this entire greenhouse full of plants. But I think he lets her in the end kill the Audrey too, by dodging the fucking arrow, and that was pretty sweet.
She's just a poor shot.
It was a great shot. He just moved. I guess she didn't anticipate his next move.
I love the end where he's hanging there and he's basically tells her the bottle for the weed.
Yes,
Yeah, it's just weed.
The bottle for the weed. I wanted to cut that out. That's a good bit of dialogue.
I think that quote, Steve, absolutely speaks volumes to lots of different people in the world. The bottle for the weed, whatever that can mean.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
And then one of my favorite things is like this fucking fire that enrages and just tears everything down. And it's just, I felt like that was a very common theme, if I recall, from other episodes later down the road of Pamela Isley's, of Poison Ivy episode. Like, don't they have like others where like everything just catches fire and burns down? Isn't the one where like her and Harley are best friends, or they learn to be friends?
Let's
like the
not jump too
whole
far
place
ahead.
burns down. They're like they're like fake. There's the suburb that's being built up.
Their little lesbian affair. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge.
But yeah, I love this episode. I think it's great, and my favorite things even about it is that it ends exactly where it started. The very first shot, pretty much, is of this groundbreaking in this area, this location that's going to become Arkham Asylum, and then boom, it ends with her deep in Arkham Asylum, holding the plant that was once there.
That doesn't seem quite right. Like that's a poisonous plant, and they're just like, yeah, let her have the plant that she poisoned with people. And that's why she's in
Yeah,
here.
that's a good point. I kind of liked the how beautiful it was, and the way it came back to this where it began.
If you have like an emotional attachment to a knife and then stab people with the knife and then go to prison, they don't let you keep the knife.
He likes that gun. It's okay. Let him have that gun. It's okay.
He talks to it.
It makes her feel better.
So, guys, what would you give your boys?
I will also give this one a 3. Actually, I'm going to give it a 3.5 for that ass.
Really?
The fact that they give her some curves, give it an extra half. I'll give it 3.5.
I give this 5 out of 5 boys. This is one of my favorites. For
Oh, really?
Sure. Absolutely. I love this episode.
I don't know. Batman fighting plants doesn't get a 5 out of 5 for me. Like,
I love Little Shop of Horrors. So for me, Audrey 2 was like great. Like to see that on screen. I'm like, there it is. He's going to fight and kill it. That's what I would have done if I was him in Little Shop of Horrors rather than just get eaten like everybody else in that movie, right? Other than Audrey and Rick Moranis, whatever. What's his name again? Fuck, I can't remember.
Rick
his name.
Moranis.
No, not Rick Moranis. His
Steve
character's
Martin.
name.
Oh, I don't know. Seymour.
I'd give it
Seymour.
probably
Seymour. Suddenly Seymour.
Yep.
Yes.
That's why.
Steve, what would you give it?
3.5 as well.
What? Okay. Well, I really like this episode.
But I really like the beginning, and then it kind of faded out, I guess. The beginning part where it starts off with the flashback, and then it has the match cutting of introducing Bruce Wayne to, and Batman, I thought was all well done. And then it kind of just peters out with the whole,
No, because they save
fire.
Harvey Dent in the end. Everything's great. Harvey's fine. He's got the antidote
I
because
don't
ball
know.
for the weed. She's in jail metaphorically with the poisonous plant in her cell, that right where the poisonous plant went extinct. It's beautiful. 5 out of 5.
Okay, I'll give it. You increased it.
This is a children's TV show, by the way, too.
I know. That's why.
How heady is that? How heady is that?
I'm going to have a lot of 5 out of 5, so this isn't one of them.
Yeah, well, this is definitely one of mine.
Great bat stuff, gentlemen. Cool Boy Nation, tune in next week. Same Cool Bat time, same Cool Bat channel. Cool Bat Nation, be sure to let us bat know what you bat thought of Pretty Poison, or what your favorite bat episode is by bat emailing us at batmanandbeyondcoolboys@gmail.com. New episodes of Batman and Beyond come out every Thursday. Also, please check out our other great Cool Boy Central content with The Cool Boys Podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Patreon, where the Cool Boys have an uncensored discussion about 5 so cool movies, everything ranging from bods to dongs and all the boners they have given us. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Cool Boys Podcast and Facebook group us at The Cool Boys Podcast. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube by searching for The Cool Boys Podcast. And be sure to rate and review us on iTunes at The Cool Boys Podcast. And if you like, you can donate to us on Patreon and receive additional episodes of Cool Boys After Dark and a Cool Boy shout out on The Cool Boys Podcast that airs every Tuesday. You can find The Cool Boys on Patreon at patreon.com/coolboyspodcast. Thank you for listening. Stay cool, Cool Boy Nation. Until next time, it's Byzies from Felk.
That's Byzies from Ballard.
And Byzies from Steven.
So cool.
Batman
And beyond.
Oh yeah. Batman.
and Beyond.
Oh, yeah.